God is good. If you put your faith in Jesus, anything is possible. I'm Nick Slatton. Welcome to Bible Belt Fed Productions. One of my brothers asked me to do this. Going to tell y'all a story. So this is January 23rd, 2007. I was on a tactical support team called Raven 2-3. I was riding as the lead gunner in the second vehicle in the motorcade. Basically, we were a quick reaction force, so all the other Blackwater teams that were out there doing personal security details, taking their principals, which just means the very important person that they were protecting, taking them to their venues to have their meetings. We would get called up if there was ever an emergency situation where they were under attack. On January 23rd, they started taking heavy fire at one of the venues that we were responsible for covering. And one of the little bird gunners, he was struck in the head by a bullet and died instantly. And so they flew him back to the green zone. But the other little bird, they always flew in pairs. The other little bird, they elected to stay at the venue and provide close air support. So at first, our mission was to go and extract the principal team that was under fire. And so when we were en route, we were ambushed. And our lead vehicle, the tire was shot out. And we fought our way off that X, turned onto another street, were ambushed again, went over the river, found an easily defendable position, and we set up for a tire change, executed the tire change, and by the time we got back on the road, we had a new mission. The second little bird that was on site had been shot down. And so we were now on a recovery mission for that little bird. And there were 4 men on the ground, and they lost their lives that day. We fought for 3.5 hours to recover their bodies. We fought our way through 5 ambushes to get to where our brothers had been shot down. And so we were driving all these back alley streets, ended up being like cul-de-sacs. So every time we would drive down one, we'd have to turn around and go right back through the ambush. So the last grid that we received, the little bird had given us, was over the river. So we were looking in all these areas in Alfadal, and just a lot of people kept pouring in to try to kill us. And it was insane to see the city essentially come alive and try to eat you, is how I felt about it. And I remember just having a sense of calm come over me, and God was strengthening me to stand in that turret. And I'm just thankful for all my brothers. I'm thankful for everyone who supported us. I remember in this gunfight being on the 240 Bravo machine gun, and there was a round that cracked off, and it hit in the street in between my vehicle and the vehicle in front of me. And I called out on the radio, "Sniper." And then the round struck the vehicle that I was in, and it hit close to my turret. And I remember thinking that I was a dead man. So we're engaging, returning fire, and I'm praying, and I'm not sure if I said it out loud or if I just said it internally, but I said, "God, help me." And I don't even think I got me out, and Apache showed up, and there was a Hellfire missile that went over, and then another Hellfire missile, and it struck this building that was 800 yards away, and it just hit the second floor, and it hit the fourth floor the way that I remember. And so the third floor just kind of disintegrated, collapsed on itself. And we didn't take any sniper fire from that building anymore. And I remember being in that machine gun and just continually having to engage the enemy, and they kept coming. They were throwing grenades off of the roofs at us, and they were staging weapons in buildings. So they would run across the street and you would look and they wouldn't have a gun in their hands, and then they would get up in the building that was beside of you, and it would be the same guys that had ran across the street. So they knew our rules of engagement. They knew that we weren't supposed to engage people that didn't have weapons. So that was very eye-opening that civilians were actively participating in this firefight. And then there were also guys that were dressed in black, and they had ammo carriers, kit we call it. They had Rhodesian type vest on, and they had AKs, and they were also throwing smoke, and they were bounding Overwatch. And so there was an estimated force of 1,000 is what we heard on the ground that were trying to assemble and to basically take our brother's remains. And the Apaches showed up and they helped us neutralize the threats. And like I said, we fought for 3.5 hours to recover our brothers. And it was the worst day of my life for sure. And I wanted to share that with y'all today, and just let you know that whenever you're faced with giants, whenever you're faced with a hard day, just remember who has his hand on you. I should have died many times that day. My team, I remember every time we would roll out of the green zone, there were speed bumps. You hit them. And that was a jarring reminder that I better be praying. And I would always ask the Lord to protect us. And he did. You know, he helped us to complete the mission and to recover our brothers. And I just wanted to thank all my brothers that helped save my life that day. And also I wanted to thank all the Army personnel, my brothers in arms that were from the 2nd Infantry Division that saved my life, and then whatever that Apache unit was that showed up, those pilots and those gunners that saved our lives that day. I'm grateful. I'm sitting here today because of you. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about y'all. Wear you on my wrist. Cassavant, Gurnett, Johnson, Laguna, Stanfield. Killed in action, January 23rd, 2007, Baghdad, Iraq.